Alright, so here's my box of all the equipment they gave me. Alrighty guys, here is the tank the next day. Now he actually gave us another fish. Stay tuned for that. We are going to be making this tank a whole series. Now for one of the parts I'm most excited about. Hey guys, welcome back to Colson's Critters. I'm Colson Smith, and in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to set up your very first saltwater aquarium. So I'm going to set up my 20-gallon Icecap tank. We're going to put in sand, rock, and water, and just kind of show you guys the basics. This is part one. So yeah, let's get into the video. Now before we get into the video, it is late, so the lights are off, but we have our little clownfish here from Jared. Now he actually gave us another fish. This is a little Valentini pufferfish, so he's super cute. Look at him. Look at how cute he is. This guy actually does eat coral, is eating his coral, so he's giving it to me. So we're gonna keep in the sump here where there aren't really any corals besides like some Kenya tree, which I don't think he'll touch, and even if he does, we have an entire colony up here. So we're gonna go ahead and pop him open and pour him in the tank. All right, we got the little guy right here. Now I didn't use a net like a typical fish I would with. I actually used a cup this time because you don't really want to handle them out of the water, so that way they don't puff up. But there he goes. Look at how cute he is. And these two actually were in the same tank, so he's probably like, oh, I remember you. Drop some name suggestions for our new little Valentini puffer, and huge shout out to Jared. Alright, so for part one, I'm going to show you guys kind of the basics of how to set up this tank. So I have my 20-gallon Icecap tank here. It's their new all-in-one tank, so make sure you guys check them out because they did send me this. And then we have our box down there that has all of our equipment. I got 20 gallons of salt water, 20 pounds of sand, and then I got a bunch of rock here that we can play around with. Now the first things first, we got to set up the tank, so we got to put all the equipment onto the tank, so let's get into that. Alright, so here's my box of all the equipment they gave me. So I'm going to go ahead and go through it. I have gone through what I've got in this box before in a previous video, but I'm just gonna go through it again real fast and show you everything they sent me. So we got a set of tweezers here. This is gonna be really good for when we add coral to the tank. So make sure you stay tuned for that because we're gonna be adding some pretty sick corals into this tank. We got some Bacto balls, which will actually help today with cycling the tank. We got some LPS coral food, which will help obviously with the corals down the road. We also have some other pellet food that'll help with our fish. We have some biospheres here. This will help keep the bacteria, have a place for them to kind of settle into and help cycle our tank a little faster. We have 3 pads here. We have a nitrate reducing pad, phosphate reducing pad, and just some polyfilter. So we're gonna have to add that into our tank as well. They also sent us a frag rack holder. They gave me a little frag container, which I have in my dad's tank right now. We're gonna go ahead and pop it onto this little frag rack holder. I can show you guys that later in this video. We got the skimmer that is rated for this 20-gallon tank, the AOI 240. So we also got these coral cutters here. So this will help later down the road. We're gonna frag some corals out of my dad's tank to put in this tank, so that'll come in handy for sure. We also got the ATO Easy, which is going to be super easy to use on this tank, hence the name. And then last but certainly not least, we have this Icecap 2K gyre, which is going to be super awesome on this tank, and I can't wait to set this up on the tank as well. So we're going to go ahead and get all the equipment where we need. They also have, it does come with the return pump on the tank, so we're going to set that up too. And I'm just going to kind of do a review on how I like it. This is their like new tank, so they just kind of came out with it. So if I like it, I'll let you know. I'm gonna be completely honest, and I'll let you guys know if I like it, and you guys can get one for yourself. So let me go ahead and get this thing running. I'm gonna kind of do this with one hand since I'm holding the camera, but back here, we do have our pump, some tubing, and if I can reach back here, there it is. We also have this little piece here that's gonna go onto the main return thing here. And then we also have, it comes with the sock as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get all this set up. Let me go ahead and get this pump unboxed. Okay, to set up the pump, we're gonna go ahead and literally just pop this in the top here. You pop your, make sure that's pressed in pretty well. Pop the tubing on. And then we're just gonna pop it in the back and connect it to the other side on the tank. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and slide it in the back here. Pop that down in there. Make sure it goes all the way down to the bottom. Then, I don't know if I can do this with one hand. We're about to find out. No, let me put the camera down real quick. Okay, now that we got the pump on, we literally just popped that on the other side. We're gonna go ahead and put the sand in, and then we're gonna put the rock in as well and make our rock structure. So the sand I'm gonna go with is gonna be the Carib Sea Fiji Pink sand. The reason I'm going with Fiji Pink and not their reef sand is the Fiji Pink is more of a fine grade sand, like I have in my 10 gallon, and I prefer to have that fine grade sand. In a bigger tank, I would recommend doing the reef sand just because the flow is really strong, and that thicker grade sand, it won't blow around. With Fiji Pink, it's very light, so if you have a lot of flow, it'll just kick up everywhere. But this is a small tank, it's just a 20 gallon, so the Fiji Pink will be just fine. All right, it is time to pour in our sand. Now there is one of those like cleaner packets in here somewhere. I don't really know where though, so I don't see it. Well, I guess we'll find it later. But now we're gonna go ahead and kind of place the rock around and build my rock structure. Now with the rock structure, you wanna make it how you like it, because I always tell people, once you make your rock structure, you're stuck with it. You don't wanna ever move it around, you won't ever switch anything. So you wanna make sure you like it once it goes in the tank. It also doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because you are gonna have corals grow on it, so it's just gonna cover your rock. But you wanna make sure you like it initially. I usually go with a smaller rock structure than you think you need, so that way you can make your hand go all the way around the tank, and that way you can also have room for your corals to grow. So I'm just gonna kind of move the rock around how I like it, and I'll catch you guys when I'm done. All right, this is actually what I ended up going with. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys would have done something different. I'm gonna add water to the tank. I'm gonna let it cycle, and during the cycle, if I don't like it, I can always switch it during the cycle. It's when you start adding the corals and all that is when you don't wanna switch it. So the first few days, I can go ahead and play around with it, but I think this is what I'm gonna go with. So we're gonna go ahead and start adding in our salt water. Now typically with setting up a tank, you wanna go with the same amount of pounds per gallon. So I used about 15 pounds of rock for a 20 gallon tank. I went on the light side. I like less rock so I can fill it in with more coral. And then for the sand, you wanna do about the same. So I used about 20 pounds of sand for a 20 gallon tank as well. So this is what we ended up with. Let's go ahead and fill it with, you're actually gonna use less than 20 gallons of water because the rock and the sand fill up the tank, but let's go ahead and get some water. All right, this last jug, we're probably not gonna put the whole jug in there because all it has to do is fill the back chamber. But we're gonna go ahead and pour it in. The water's gonna be cloudy for a few days. Good method, like I was doing, you saw in the video, is pouring it onto my hand. Keeps it from kind of stirring the sand up too much, so it makes it less foggy, but it's still gonna be foggy for a few days. So we're gonna go ahead and pour in this last jug. Now we're gonna go ahead and add our biospheres in the middle here at the bottom. So those are gonna sink down and just have a place for more bacteria to spread onto to cycle our tank faster. I forgot to say, I am gonna add these Bacto balls into the biospheres here, which these definitely look like Orbeez, but we're gonna go ahead and pour them in with the bacteria here. So that way they're stuck in this bag, and that way the bacteria can go straight onto the biospheres and help cycle our tank. So we'll go ahead and pour those all in here. Might as well pour them all in. One more in there. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and tie this up and throw it in the back of the tank. Now we're gonna add the ATL EZ. So basically what this does is with every saltwater aquarium, the salt in the water does not evaporate, but the fresh water does. So you have to add fresh water back into the aquarium. So what this does is it basically, once your water reaches below that level, is gonna add water automatically into the tank to reach it back to that level. If you wanna see a full detailed video on how I set it up, go ahead and check out this one right here. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing and set it up on the 20. Back in the day, I used to just hand top it off, meaning just take a cup of fresh water and pour it in the tank, which this is bad for several reasons. One, it's just really annoying and a hassle, but two, it also makes the salinity in your water just change frequently, which is not good for your corals or your fish. Okay, I actually did get the skimmer on the tank as well. I was gonna show you guys how to set it up and all that, but it was literally so easy. I just popped it out of the box and put the plump on the bottom and put the cup on the top, and that was literally it. I'm not gonna actually plug this in yet because there's no fish in the tank, so there's no protein for it to skim. So I'm just gonna leave it off until the tank is completely cycled and we get our first fish. Now for one of the parts I'm most excited about, we're gonna add our gyre on here. This thing is super cool. We're gonna go ahead and open up the box and see how it works. All right, go ahead and open it up. Looks like it already comes pretty much like good to go. This is a Hydros, so you do have the Hydros controller. So we have this controller here. Let's go ahead and let me figure this out and I'll explain it to you guys. Okay, after about 2 minutes, I figured it out. So pretty much, you're just gonna connect the power cable to the power slot here, screw it on, and then the pump cable here has a little yellow color, and on here it says pump output. So you literally just screw it into one of the pump outputs. So I mean, that's pretty easy. You literally just, all we gotta do is pop this on now. You line it up and then you just screw it on. So that way it's completely water repellent. So I don't know if this one's waterproof or water repellent, one of the two. But we're gonna go ahead and screw this onto my wall here, get it in a good spot, and then pop this on and see how it works. Now I've actually decided to not add that onto the tank just yet. I wanna let the tank cycle without it first, and then I'm gonna do that in a future video. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We are gonna be making this tank a whole series, so make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned for those videos. It's gonna be pretty fun. I do need your guys' help though. What should we do to the tank? I want to make it up to you guys. Just comment down below. I'm going to use your guys' suggestions with some of mine because I want to make sure I can actually take care of what you guys want me to put in this tank. So leave your suggestions down below and I'll be looking at all of them, and we'll see what we do with this tank. So I'm excited to see what you guys think, and I'm just excited to set this up in general. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me get back to you guys in a couple days when this thing is all cleared up. Alrighty guys, here is the tank the next day. It has cleared up just a little bit, looking great. I'm really liking this rock structure. The only thing is I wish it might have been a little bit taller, but we are gonna fill it with a lot of coral, so that'll be good. But let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments. Would you have done something different? I can always switch it right now since we are in the cycling stage, but I am liking this a lot. Alrighty guys, that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, let me know down in the comments below. Also, make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned for these future videos on setting up the tank, maybe adding fish and all that as well. And be sure to comment what you guys wanna see in the tank. So yeah, till next time, peace.